Okay, I'm back.
Did you miss me?
Sorry about that. Just had a lot going on. So anyways, since it's cold outside, I thought I'd do a movie that always made me feel cold. 30 Days a Night. Yep, yep. I do horror movies too, and it won't be the last, I promise. And if this is your first video, just know I like to hit the juicy parts of the story, not going over every little detail like most YouTubers do for watch time padding. I like to get to the point. But if you guys want me to start getting more into detail, I will take one for the team. Just let a guy know. Okay, so starting off with the beginning, it shows a dirty looking man staring at an old looking boat, then walking towards civilization, leaving an easy to follow trail, clearly hinting towards something. Oh, and if you've never seen this before, it's a treat. But I do gotta say, ain't no way Buddy stole everybody's phone. Even if every door was unlocked with the phone right beside it. That's just an impossible task, man. Moving on, our main character, Eben. Yes, I do just wish his name was Evan, but it's not. Back to it, Eben notices signs of the stranger early on, but makes small cake of it, thinking it may be teenagers. Helicopters, animals, and people start to come up missing and or destroyed. Even though this scene is pointless to the story besides stranding one of the two main characters, it gives me a chance to mention Stella and a mini rant. Like, bro, all this space in literal Alaska and you have an accident? Like, what? But on the other hand, I do feel the need to mention this dude was the Red Ninja Storm Ranger, and I'll never forget that. R.I.P. man, you were my childhood. And all this commotion causes Stella to miss her flight, which she really didn't want to miss due to the fact that Alaska is primed and ready for 30 days of darkness, which, I'll be damned, is a real thing. But even more terrifying, around 60 days in IRL, fact is scarier than fiction, they always say. There's this quick scene of Gus getting killed, which is important to the plot due to the fact that he runs the power station for the town, and without the station, the town is in total darkness. The way they unalive Gus and display his head on a stick is brutal and the first sign of their level of consciousness. But moving on, Eben stumbles across a disturbance at a small diner caused by the stranger earlier. "If you don't give me what I want to eat, what I want to drink," he says after ordering raw meat. The stranger then attempts to go toe-to-toe with Eben before being ironically saved by gunpoint because Eben was definitely about to bench press him out of this world. Like, no joke. Back at the mini jail, Eben interrogates the stranger, asking why he is here and who he is with. But the stranger just answers with, "I don't talk to dead men," in dramatic fashion. While Eben is checking on the power station, things really start to hit the fan. People start getting dragged out of windows, dragged into windows. I mean, it's blood spilling everywhere. While they go door to door clearing everyone out, at which point it's every man for himself. Humans don't stand a chance, literally getting ripped left and right. P.S. I really love this overhead shot. It's so dope. And see, Eben is a good character because he's good at keeping his cool and he never gives up, immediately trying to find ways to kill them while he's constantly checks up on the other townfolk. Even at the risk of his own life, which is stupid but noble. While he's en route for supplies, these mofos literally grab his car while it's in motion and flip it. At that point, I wouldn't even know what to do. I would just press start and quit the game. Surviving characters, including the main ones, end up huddled up in an attic discussing what to do now that things have calmed down and mostly everyone is dead. But clearly that plan won't last forever as the vamps, I guess I can call them that officially, are ransacking house by house. Even going so far as to using one of their last food sources as bait to catch more humans, which is crazy scary that they have this levels of cognitive thinking. When I first saw it, I was like, whoa. Many unimportant but eventful deaths later, I want to give credit to the characters, mainly Stella, for figuring out their connection with the stranger and why they needed him and what a potential weakness could be. I like the step by step they backtrack to show you how they got to that point. You know, like that's dope to me. While Eben tests this UV light theory, which is absolutely absurd, whether it works or not, it does. The guy Bowser, or Browser, or Broser, I just looked that up. I don't think they mentioned his name in the movie. He causes a distraction, and he did pretty good, taking out more vamps in 2 minutes than everyone pretty much did collectively the entire movie. It's just a shame he survived that kamikaze blast. But ironically, they didn't end up eating him anyways. They just, did the thing. Although, a lot of this just kind of seemed pointless because Eben got back to where he was before he left, and now that they know the UV lights work, they don't do anything with that fact the rest of the movie, making it seem as if they never should have left in the first place to try that little experiment. I mean, like, what did they gain out of that situation? That's my only gripe, my biggest gripe, I guess. But nothing really important happens until they get to the utilidor, which is where they've been trying to get to since the attic situation. Stella and Eben find Billy, Eben's best friend, who had clapped his entire family, suggesting it was a much better way to go. And it's messed up, but it's not really important. Besides the fact that Stella got split from him after the fact, if that's even important. Billy continues to be useless and leads one of the scariest vamps of the bunch to their location, where he proceeds to throw everyone around like rad dogs instead of immediately killing and biting them like most of the victims you've seen before now. But you know, plot armor, that's how that works. I shouldn't have to explain that. Finally safe being where they needed to be, the vamps, they just call it quits and they just decided to burn everything. Like, yeah, we're out of here. Humans win by disqualification, or they lose by disqualification. But Stella is out in the field, susceptible to the easy bake oven treatment. On top of that, the vamps want to be petty and watch to make sure the job is done and she can't run. They ain't no James Bond villains. They're not going to just walk away and turn their back and say, yeah, you're finished, Mr. Bond. So with no options left, Eben takes blood from Billy's corpse after he got clapped by that other vampire that I was talking about that's real scary. After noticing the others that turned earlier, it wasn't instantaneous, and he knew he would have time to be able to save Stella and give everyone a chance to be able to get out. Eben walks up to the clan and literally just starts jabbing the lead vampire like a pro boxer. The fight goes on for like 2 minutes, but Eben is clearly losing and outclassed. Then all of a sudden he just wins instantly. I don't know. I think it's obvious the lead vampire underestimated him and didn't really expect much, but for Eben to just get an easy shot in like that, I don't know. I feel like the lead vampire, Marlowe, had at least a few hundred years of fighting experience on him. And yes, the vamps had names, which I didn't mention because a lot of their names aren't mentioned in film. Maybe besides Marlowe's and subtitles, but in the credits, every single vampire has a name, which I think is beyond awesome and a great attention to detail. For example, my top 2 scariest vamps are Arvin and Zuriel. I may not have said that right. I may not have. But they added so much to the roles without speaking. It just gets unnoticed. And I just feel like I gotta make a special segment to point that out. Because that goes along with a lot of movies where background actors and side characters, they don't get the recognition that the Robert Downey Jr.'s and the Chris Evans and the Denzels or whatever, you know, they don't get that recognition. So I'm just throwing that out there. I got slightly sidetracked, but that's besides the point. Actually, it's the entire point, and that was the ending of the movie. But since Eben got turned, things must go full circle, and he was killed in the morning by the sun in Stella's arms. The camera zoomed in on Stella clearly, like she was indicating that she wanted revenge, and that was the end. That was it. I just clipped that last, 15 seconds, maybe, if that's 15. I don't feel like it was important. I mean, I guess, him dying was important. That I guess that's the best way to end. I'm rambling. But I think this is a great horror film. And it's probably my favorite vampire horror film of all time that is not solely based around a singular vampire. And I guarantee you I'm going to contradict that statement later, because in the process of saying this, I'm thinking of Underworld. So, with that being said, I love how smart the vampires are here. They clearly are not just monsters. What language do they speak? Where did they come from? Why don't they want to change others? How long have they been doing this? And what do they believe? Some answers are hinted at in the movie. While Marlowe, the lead vampire, disses religion, God, and humans as a whole, it's like, bro, were you ever human? Is this a hive mind situation? He refers to man as a plague. I'm aware that there is a sequel, and I've never seen it due to the fact that it's terrible. Apparently, the lore is not expanded upon, and there's a recast. But I believe there are comic books and graphic novel recommendations, which actually came out before the film, and the film was based on that, so it's probably like better quality, maybe even. I don't know. I'm just a movie person, so I'm sticking with the movies. Either way, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be safe, stay warm. Peace.